In this video, we're going to show you how to make an onboard air system that fits in the rear compartment of a 2018 or later JL. These are the items that we used, and we will include all of them in the description so you can get the exact products that we did to build this onboard air system.
Turning. Not a girl. I mashed my fingers off. Get on, say hi. What's up, guys? So, as you can see here, from the angle you're at and the way that I'm sitting, it looks like we just have the normal back of a Jeep Wrangler JL. But, we've done something pretty cool. And I'll be honest, I haven't really found anybody that's done it this way, which I don't quite understand because it seems to be perfect. The only thing I could see maybe being an issue might be overheating because the exhaust is right here, but we do plan on putting an aftermarket exhaust on, which will bring us away. But let's show you what we did. What we have here is a dual ARB air compressor, two 1-pound bottles, and an inline air system that brings us both air on the rear to a regulator. And if you want to take a look here, we've mounted our regulator here. You can simply adjust by twisting your regulator.
I do want to let everybody know we may need to add a cooling fan in here somewhere just to kind of circulate some air. We haven't used this thing enough yet to find out, but we would like to be able to use this compressor with this door closed.
We have one fitting that's leaking, and it's not because of the job we did, it's because of the faulty fitting. It's got a blow-off valve on it, and it seems like it's not working correctly. So we'll replace that, no big deal. Or maybe we won't replace it, I don't know. It's really not that big of a deal. So very, very slow leak. So, we've got our rear hookup here. We've got 2 pounds of air with bottles we made here. I designed all this, bought all the parts, did all the fab work. We just did some aluminum to keep the heat from burning the carpet. If that would even be an issue, I'm not really sure, because this was a really hot compartment before. And if you want to come up here to the front, we went ahead and ran our air chuck up here, so we have a second air chuck here if you want to air up at the front of your Jeep. But let's get right into it here. All these parts that you're going to need to build this same setup in your car are all in the link in the description below. This is going to kind of be an origami thing because it's literally so tight in here. It's only really going to go one way. Okay, so that will be our main feed to the compressor. These high pressure fittings, guys, make sure you use a good amount of Teflon tape. I think I'm missing, nope, there's the other pressure blow-off valve. So I don't need 2 of these pressure blow-off valves, but I figured I would go ahead and put one on each tank. You guys don't have to do this because obviously the amount of pressure that goes through one tank is going to make its way over to the other tank. But my idea was, if there was to be a clog in between tank 1 and tank 2, it's better to have one of these blow-off valves on each of them. And what these do is, if the pressure gets below or gets above, I think I did 175 psi, and this is a 200 psi tank. Instead of exploding, these blow-off valves will open up and it'll release all the pressure. So super important to have these. If you're going to have this in your car, you have to have these pressure release valves. Now I'm just kind of putting it in this deal here. And it's important too that you stagger these pressure relief valves. So you flip your tanks the opposite way and then you can stagger them. So as you can see, I'll have one here and one there. And then my two outputs will be there and there. Make sure when you're drilling any holes in a Jeep or really any vehicle, guys, always get on the back side of the hole and make sure there's nothing back there. You do have your fuel tank right in here and things like that. I went back there and double checked all that, so make sure you do the same. And then gas starts pouring in here.
Yeah.
Don't make that mistake, guys. What's the saying? Measure once, cut twice?
No.
This guy's gonna need one on this end. Okay, guys. So now you want to take these two tanks, and really you should be bolting these together. But because I didn't buy bolts and I want to get it done, I'm a very patient man. But anyway, because I want to get it done, I'm just going to zip tie them together for now. And if it creates a rattle, then I'll come back and bolt them. And basically you can just put a bolt in between the two tanks where the tanks typically should bolt down. Now you've got your custom tank that literally will fit right in the back of a JL. Remember, it's going to get hot in here, so don't want to leave any plastic or anything behind. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting hose. You're first, babe. Get.
What?
Cutting hose. Okay, that's the hard one. So as you can see, right back in here, here's my exhaust. Right back there, where my holes are. I'm going to keep them behind the heat shield. Okay, so it's bright and early in the morning here, and trying to finish this project up before we get on the road for a trip this weekend. And so what we've done here is we've ran a heavy gauge 8 up to the front, and our ARB wire comes from down below where the compressor is, and then we also tied in a hot 12 volt that'll be hot all the time back here to run a refrigerator. So we've got 3 wires running to the battery up front, 2 for positive, 1 for negative. The ARB compressor wire coming in, and then we've also brought in our hose for our regulator, which is our air hose, and we've brought in the switch for the ARB. So we're going to tidy all this up, get it behind this paneling, and see if we can make a nice connection here. And if you guys are smarter than I am, you might pull this off. It is not worth sitting here fighting over it. We're getting it all kind of buttoned up here, and we're going to mount our chuck right to the pressure regulator, and then we'll put our gauge out here, and our inline will go there, And we're gonna mount that thing right there so you can hook right into your air right on the inside of here and change your pressure just like that. So we're gonna bring our hose up and try to hook all this on here. So we've got our regulator set up. We've got our incoming hose that's coming from our ARB compressor. We've got our gauge on the front. We've got our mounting hardware on the back. And we've got our compressor hose hook up on the outside. We're gonna mount that thing just like that. Okay guys, so we're back at the front of the Jeep here, and we're gonna tie our two ARB inline fuses back into this main wire that goes to the back of the Jeep. We know it's not the proper way to do the ground, but we don't have the proper fitting right now, so this is the way it's gonna be. And it'll probably be fine like this forever, but we know all you perfectionists just love to have everything perfect. See what we got. Okay, so we're gonna bring this hose around. Cut them off as flush as possible. Like that. We'll be in business time. Okay. Tuck that guy right in there for now. That should be good. They need air up front. You just slide that guy out of there and hook up. So now we should be able to turn our air on, and it should completely hold pressure. If it doesn't,
I'm starting over.
we're gonna do this whole thing. That doesn't drive this thing off a cliff. Should shut off at 150 psi. If it doesn't, she's good. Okay. So now you can keep this regulator wide open, which is probably how it'll be a lot of the time. But when you want to air your tires up, you can set your regulator to say 37 or 38 psi, and then hook your tires up to that, and it'll fill them up. And then when it's at 38 psi, the regulator won't let it push any more pressure out. So you're almost kind of using your regulator backwards, which is what we want. Test it. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. We're gonna wrap this thing up here. I hope this helped you build an ARB or any onboard air system for your Jeep Wrangler JL Rubicon. I'll put all the items that we use in the description below, and maybe we'll even throw a blog together and you can get on our website and check that out, and it'll tell you in detail, like instructions, how to do this, what parts you're gonna need, how we did the wiring and all that. You don't have to use the regulator, and you don't have to have two forms of air up and air down. You can literally just put one chuck back here and you're done. But the bottles fit perfect, the ARB compressor fits perfect, and we did all the wiring professionally. So if you have any questions, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think of this? Does it seem like a pretty good setup? If we helped you out, please subscribe to our channel and watch some of our episodes. And until next time, we'll see you on the trail, or in the shop, or on a podcast.